Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Bored and Annoyed. Today we're reviewing Glass. I'm Jackson.
And I'm home at the movies.
And Shyamalan with another joint last week.
This is not a cartoon. This is the real world.
No way.
And yet, some of us still don't die with bullets. Some of us can still bend steel.
Walking on broken glass. It's a classic one from the 90s.
There's home at the movies, his standard douche chills.
Douche chills. Yep. Hey, man. We're walking on broken glass. Do you want me to just do that?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Boring.
That is true.
You got to lean into it.
That's true.
At least you get the he's a jackass laugh.
What'd you think of Glass?
I don't know. I'm still processing it. I just walked out of it. It's not good. It's nowhere near as good as everybody was hoping it was going to be.
Right.
But it was not horrendous. Like the acting is all solid.
Sure.
But it's kind of, I say this all the time, it's kind of broken. But it's broken from a premise perspective.
That's the biggest problem with the movie. And I know that there are critics out there who have kind of liked the premise. Mm-hmm. And they're disliking it because of the ending. Mm-hmm. But for me, the plot of this is it's a sequel to Unbreakable and Split. Yeah. And basically all three of our characters have somehow or another ended up in a institution for the insane. Yep. And a therapist who specializes in working with people who think they're superheroes is trying to convince them that they're not. Yeah. That's the plot. So the conflict, at least with one of our characters, is mainly, am I or am I not a superhero? But we already did that.
We did it in the first movie, and it's been 19 years.
Yes.
And we, and this is why it's broken, it's what Jackson's alluding to, is the fact that we as the audience experienced all of these things already. We saw the Beast get shot by a shotgun.
Correct.
We saw Bruce Willis lift like 700 pounds. Like, we know for a fact. So the most of the screen time is wasted on a question that we already know the answer to.
Correct. And if somebody wants to point out how we're wrong about this, like if we're missing some big meaningful fucking thing here, feel free. But I was watching, there was a moment in the movie where I rolled my eyes. Yeah. Like when Bruce Willis, what do you give it for a grade? Before spoilers.
I feel like this is a D, maybe a D minus. That's a really big thing to be wrong on, but I still liked the characters. And it's unfair, but they brought in the Unbreakable theme song a couple times, and I'm like, I fucking love this.
They should have used it more.
They should have. Yeah. They really should have. Because it was hints of it. It wasn't the full-blown thing. And those moments tended to work, but I was like, oh, you fucker.
You're manipulating.
You fucker.
I would give this a D plus or C minus. Now, I'm being harsh on this mainly because I like the first two a lot.
Right.
And I think he could have done better.
Way better.
Now, because I like the characters and the actors, aspects of it really worked. Like, what's his name is fucking great. The McAvoy. James McAvoy is fantastic.
Once again, this movie is called Glass. This is Split 2. He is the star. He's so fucking good.
He's the best part of the movie.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
But
he also has the most emotionally impactful arc throughout the whole. He doesn't even have an arc.
Bruce Willis does the same fucking thing as he did in the first movie. So that, like, you're recycling everything. But that was going to be my eye rolling moment. We're going to go into spoilers here. The biggest problem with the movie, or the biggest moment that made me like chuckle and roll my eyes, was there's a scene where Bruce Willis actually says out loud, like, what if we're not? And I was like, dude, this was the whole first movie.
Yeah. You already did this.
It was dumb. Maybe he thought like, oh, but this is neat because we're doing the opposite.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you would have figured this out.
It's problematic.
Nobody's broken. You've been fucking fighting crime now.
Yeah.
At least on and off for some time. And no, you've never had a broken bone, we can only assume.
Yeah.
The only thing that hurts you is water.
Yeah.
So don't give me this fucking you might not be a superhero bullshit. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And they tried to do the mentalist thing too, but it's like, just because he saw red dust on this guy's jacket didn't mean all of a sudden he would put together that there were 3-4 cheerleaders there.
Right.
Like, it doesn't hold up under a second amount of scrutiny.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Bruce Willis sees exactly what's going on in his head. Like, he feels exactly what's happening.
And he would know that.
Yes.
So it's like, it's frustrating. Are we into spoilers at this point?
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't like, so his son comes back in this.
Yep.
His son is the man in the chair. Everybody's got to have
so
that.
The beginning of the movie I liked. Like the first 15 or so minutes where they're kind of setting that up.
It was fine, but it wasn't super engaging. It was fine.
Okay.
It was a little slow. It was a little boring, but it was fine, you know? Then the fight scene happened. And I didn't like the fight scene.
I thought it was okay. I liked it.
It was really cheesy when he caught the table. It just looked really fake. And then he did this thing where everybody had body cams on and Bruce Willis is writhing around as the beast is on him, just with this body cam. It just looked...
Yeah, but I like that because that's a little Shyamalan just doing some wacky stuff.
Terrible. But then his son goes to a comic shop and he's like, just seeing if I'm crazy. Also, I hated the comic shop owner. Because he's like, and then bam, the man in the red and blue came. Action Comics.
I think that might have been the same actor as the one who said, "What are you whacking off to comics back there?" to Samuel L. Jackson in the original.
Yeah. I hated that though. Because I was like, dude, have you been into a comic shop? Almost nobody who owns a comic shop is that charismatic.
It's true.
But I didn't like that, and I hated the fact that his son goes in. He's like, I just want to see if I'm not crazy, and then he turns around, and he looks at the villain section. He's like, huh?
So and it's true, yeah.
There's a villain section, and then he looks in. He's like, who are his parents? It's like, wait. You wouldn't have like asked anything about like the bad guy in this movie, like tried to find anything else out about him, and then there's the twist, like, oh, Mr. Glass killed your dad too.
That was dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
he created Split because...
Yeah, that was dumb. I didn't like that. It just fell so flat, and you could feel it fall flat in the theater. Well, it was just like him
constantly being like, yeah, that's what the villains do in these.
Yeah.
You know, just like a comic book.
Oh, my God.
You know, you've got the secret organization. So it ends up that the other twist is that it ends up that the doctor... is like heading up some secret society who is trying to keep the knowledge of superheroes' existence at bay. So her first try at this when she runs into it is to try and convince them that they're not. And if she can convince them they're not, then the problem is solved.
Yeah. By the way, twist, it's a secret society. I told you all the good twists were gone in this universe.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And it was what I said. It's X-Men.
It is X-Men.
It was X-Men.
Yep.
I hated, they were trying to do like, Mr. Glass is obsessed with the comic book tropes.
Right.
It's like, blah, 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 blah. This is what the villain does. I hated the fact that he was like, and then the hero goes to the place and fights the villain. It's called the Showdown. I was like, you mean like it's called in a Western or everything?
Every story.
That's not a comic. Like, a more comic thing would be like, it's called a splash panel where everybody, you know, is fighting in one page. Like that would be more comic jargon. This is just common knowledge jargon. But the worst thing is that Anya Taylor-Joy?
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Is it Anna?
Yeah,
okay.
It's A-N-A.
Okay.
Anna, maybe, I don't know.
After his mom is explaining that to the other characters, Anna Taylor-Joy goes, so what happens there? Referring to the Showdown. You can't infer.
Yeah,
it's a showdown.
She was like a dead person in this movie. Her character was just...
Yeah.
There's a little emotion there at the end. She's got kind of the Stockholm syndrome going on with the Beast or whatever, Kevin.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting.
I kept on waiting for her to have like power, like that was going to be the twist. Like she's got powers too.
Right. I'm glad they didn't do that.
I almost kind of wish they did. They did every other shitty thing they could do.
I feel like we're being harsh on this, though. This wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It's just you wasted I felt it in the middle of the movie. I was like, you're just wasting so much time. This is just a bad premise for this movie.
I think so too. I think he rushed it. He should have had a better idea than this. I do like the way it was shot. I like some of the character moments, especially with, Bruce Willis isn't given as much to do as he could have had, but the other two are pretty great.
Why is this movie called Glass? He's given almost no screen time in comparison to McAvoy, I feel. Or maybe it's just
Glass. Well, it's Glass because it's his plot. He's the one who pulls it off in the end.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't have that's kind of a weird thing about this movie is like they have arcs, but the reason it doesn't work is like you said, it's stuff they've already gone through.
Right. Well, the other big problem in this is like, they succeed. Like it's kind of a hopeful ending because heroes are all going to be known, but the terrorist won. He killed hundreds of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're rooted, like it's just, you're treating him as if he's not a villain.
Right.
His goal was to get this out. It's like, you're acting like this is a heroic goal, but what is he? Is he?
That's why
it's weird.
I think that's kind of why critics don't like it is like when you think about it, it's a movie that says that the ends justify the means.
Right.
And that's not true in my opinion.
And what was neat about Unbreakable is you could look at it that way when it ended. You could say, well, we've got a superhero now. Yeah, he's insane. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's like it didn't feel like he was insane. It felt like he was
justified because the big bad evil corporation was behind it all. That was so stupid. It's worked this way for 10,000 years.
Yeah, give me a break.
Oh, come on. Really? We're doing this?
I do think we should speak about McAvoy and his personality changes and all that.
Oh, he was just flat out genius.
He's just a riot. He's great.
Yes. He had his death scene in this where he's going in between, and it's like a single take. He's going in between the different ones. I loved there was one time where he was like, what's the kid's name? Do you remember what the kid personality's name?
I know, yeah.
Like he's taking the light and he like turns into him for like just a second and then he turns into another one. And you're like,
it's pretty wild.
It was genius.
They set up this thing where there's lights in his room and like when they flash and he changes.
Best part of the movie, I thought.
It was pretty crazy.
Best scenes in the movie were McAvoy and Sam Jackson working off each other.
I agree. I would say that Bruce Willis was given next to nothing to do in this.
Agreed.
And he's the hero. He's supposed to be the fucking superhero.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's fucking weird, but
it was a little weird.
Disappointing, I would say. This is one where I could see myself maybe on subsequent viewings, and with time, maybe I come around a bit. But I was so excited when Split ended.
Right.
For this to be like a thing.
Yep.
And for this to be what we got, to me was not. Maybe it's an expectations thing. I just didn't think it was very good.
Like,
it's kind of boring and felt long.
It felt boring. It was long. And it's a movie that anybody could have made. This didn't have like any Shyamalan-isms in it, really.
I mean, it did, but they were so weak compared to other. You know what I'm saying? Like
it didn't
it didn't feel like you had that twist at the end that was like satisfying at all.
But it wasn't particularly introspective. It didn't really seem to have much to say for a movie that is obsessed with comic book tropes and comic books. Didn't seem to have much to say about said topic.
If it did, I missed it. I mean, there's a lot of inner turmoil, believing in yourself. Anyone can be a hero, like that. I don't know. It's like that kind of shit.
It had a nice little like. I think the thing that I got from it, and the thing that turned it around on the ending, because I did not like the ending, except for the faith. There's a line that Sam Jackson, he has a monologue, of course, where he's like, "Faith in yourself is contagious." And sometimes we just all need a little faith in ourselves.
Right.
And he says that. And I'm like, it's nice that this movie is in a time when so many people in the film industry want to shit on comic books for being the plague against humanity. It's nice that somebody sees them for what they are, which is calls to action and heroism that make you want to be better.
Again, though, it's the terrorist that's saying this.
Yes, which muddies the whole message.
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's really weird. But
that, in a microcosm, that line, that moment,
I got it. Yeah.
you know.
Like, Shyamalan gets it.
Right.
He understands why it's important.
Yes.
You know.
But he just made a movie around it that makes it seem like he doesn't.
Props to him for doing a comic book movie that's not a comic book movie. I like these 3 movies because they are and they aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something different that kind of maybe people who don't like the superhero genre will see these, and maybe they will, maybe they won't realize that, like, these are kind of universal stories that everyone can take something from.
Right.
So yeah, that's good, I guess.
I will say one thing that's a little weird about it is, I wish he had if he was just going to do a comic book movie, then just do a comic book movie and just embrace it instead of this like weird, mental hospital movie. That was the real failing. But then the other weird thing is that he shoots the action so mundanely that like he wants you to think like the Beast flipping a car is like this impressive thing, but he shoots it so flatly and boringly that you're just like, okay, that happened. And you're just not.
I didn't mind the way it was shot, the car scene. Like, you've got the camera in the car when he's flipping it, and then you have like the wide shot of it.
The wide shot was so mundane. Okay. And there were a lot of mundane shots where I was just like, I don't think he's very good at shooting action. I say that
he hasn't done it much.
I say that after seeing Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That one I haven't seen.
But I mean, I see between these two, I'm like, dude, you're not an action director. And last nitpick that I'm going to say is I hated his scene where he made a cameo.
Oh, it was so self-serving nonsense.
It was garbage.
Yeah. Oh, you worked at the stadium, right?
Oh, God, gee, this is the guy who he ran into.
Yeah.
I used to do some bad stuff.
Like, shut the fuck up. I don't need to see
right.
that. You just have the character in the scene if you want.
Also, Haley Joel was really happy that his dad's doing all this shit. And then
Joel?
Yeah, the son, Haley Joel Osment. Isn't
from
that?
The Sixth Sense.
Oh, shit, no. What's this? The kid from Gladiator. He's the kid from Gladiator.
Yeah, I used to hate the kid.
But he's back.
He was okay in this, by the way.
Yeah. He actually had a role in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, but that made me like Haley Joel. I'm like,
I was wrong. Yeah. He seemed to really like that his dad was a superhero. And then the second that he's in the scene with Shyamalan's character, he's like, it's not a good day to go for a walk, Dad, a.k.a. don't go and try and find this killer. Wait, why are you doing this in this scene now?
I can't even remember what that was about.
It was just came out of nowhere, and Shyamalan's like, just let your dad go on a walk, man.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But it was like, it felt like it was only written so that Shyamalan could give himself more lines.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing too. It's like, okay, thank you for taking me out of the movie.
Yes.
Like it's just annoying.
Yeah.
His best part, in my opinion, thus far in any of his movies was in Signs. He like locked one of the aliens in the closet.
Oh, I
when
don't
Mel
remember
Gibson
that.
shows up. He was the one who killed Mel Gibson's wife in the car wreck.
Oh, okay.
And he, says whatever to Mel Gibson and don't go in the closet. I trapped one in there. And that was like, that's it. Shyamalan, that just stop.
Yeah.
You did one
He's
piece
not
of thing.
he's not a good actor.
No. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about it.
No, it's
a middling movie. It's fine.
Yeah, I'd say it's a D. But it's probably D plus.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Probably D plus.
I didn't hate it, but I just left. It was one of those where you just leave empty.
Yeah,
because it was
exactly.
You want more.
You just left hollow. Yeah, because it was a pretty hollow, boring, not very entertaining, but not terrible movie.
Right.
So that's another episode, another review episode. We hope that you guys are enjoying these new formats.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know. If you want them built back into the episodes, we can do that. But we've been kind of running with different random topics for the main episodes. And then if you want a review, you can listen to one of these quickly. So
yeah, we figure it's better serving you guys.
Right.
So, but thanks for listening, guys. Bye.